Okay folks, once the wash is all dried, you can start wearing it away, and in certain places you can use your finger, like we're starting this front fender for instance because it's a high point. So as you rub away, this cross member is going to appear lighter than the rest of the fender. You can go over all of the vehicle with your finger and you can see the pigment starting to come off slowly. You can also use a soft brush to wear away at high points on the vehicle. It's going to knock it back a little bit. It may not look like it's doing anything at first, but you just keep working at it and working at it, and basically it's a bit similar to like dry brushing but in reverse. So we're going to go over this whole vehicle and knock some of it back. Okay folks, the next step of weathering is the back of the tank. Is like, I think this is the exhaust area, and I've seen on reference pictures this part has got some like deposits of smoke and stuff, so I'm going to use Vallejo's carbon deposits and smoke and that kind of thing, which is a black pigment. So we're going to rub that into the back of the tank. Can be a little bit strong. If I can't get it to stick, I'm going to use the Magachs pigment fixer, which is a simple way of getting it to go. Just like that, the back of the tank has got deposits, and that's pretty much just how I see it in the reference pictures. Okay, the next step is to dust up the tracks with a little bit of more pigment. We're going to use light sienna now for the tracks. We're just going to create sand deposits. I've put it inside a box because it can get a little bit messy, and I've lost my brush. So straight away, get some of your pigment as usual, applying the pigment in spare locations. You see this colour inside, it's like a sand colour, and it's a case of now just wearing it over the tracks. You could also put it over your vehicle. Again, if you're having trouble for it to stick, using pigment fixer. But again, don't use too much of this because it can turn into a horrible nasty paste. Get some of this pigment fixer inside the tracks. And on the wheels. Also folks, right here, just behind the boxes, there's two caps. I believe they're for the fuel caps. If I'm totally wrong, then I've screwed it up. But what I'm going to use is Tamiya black as some oil. I need to soak up some of this that I've accidentally put on the box. We can dab some around this one. That looks like oil to me, and fuel. Also, once this is dry, we can dry brush some metal paint over it to give it some metal effects. So the dark metal effects for the metal scratches, we can use this dark grey. Same principle as always for dry brushing. So get some paint on the brush, rub the excess off. So there's barely any on there. And there's a case of this. Anywhere you would think the metal's going to show through. So leading edges of fenders. You can also stipple it. Most of the wear is going to be quite a bit around these storage boxes when the crew opens these hatches. This clamp at the back can take a little bit of wear and tear. This front hatch is going to take a beating. Light guards can take a beating. Front fenders take a beating. All of these boxes. Back of the vehicle. It was only subtle. I mean, you have to get real close to notice some of these scratches and stuff. And then the same scratches on the turret, because the crew's going to be climbing up over the turret. So we just dry brush this. Toe clamps, this bit at the back. This hatch is going to take a beating. Put some on this cupola. Carefully put some on the storage rack. This grab handle is going to take a bit of a beating. We can also scratch the head out of this jerry can. Tow cable can take a lot of this as well. And the last little piece, don't forget, is the upper turret. It's going to get some dings in it as well. So that'll do for the dry brushing. Last thing I do want to forget is I can get the black again, and we can put a little bit on the jerry can. To mimic some fuel. Also, I want to get some buff colour, which is a lighter than the actual tank itself, and I want to do dry brushing again on that. And I want to dry brush this canvas part. That looks fine to me. And there was a tiny bit of canvas on top of the mini automatic gun as well. So pretty simple. Brings out the highlights on the front of the gun. Okay, once we finished all the weathering and all the sand and grime and dust and pigments, the last thing I like to do, just to go over my desert vehicles, is to get some buff. We're going to put some in the airbrush. We're going to spray from a distance and just give it a light coat, just to change up the view. So from a distance, it just dulls everything down. Howdy folks, right, the tank is all finished now. It is a really good kit. It's come out really well. The weathering went down reasonably well, better than I expected. It's done in the desert scheme, It's the Israeli tank from the 6 Day War, as you know. The base, if you're interested, I built a while back, so it was just a generic base. It wasn't actually built for this kit or anything, so I can just swap it out for different vehicles. So I thought I'd use it. But yeah, as I say, it's a Dragon kit. Normally Dragon can be a little bit hard and difficult, but this actually went together really quickly and simple. The only minor issue that I had with the kit was the instructions. Part numbers were called out wrong, so you just have to check and make sure you look and get it, and then mark it down. But other than the kit number being wrong, the kit itself going together is superb. No seam lines, no fit issues. Yeah, it's a good kit. I like it. I haven't glued the turret down. It is movable. The barrel does flex a little bit up and down, but not too much, because of the rubber type gasket thing around the barrel. I think it's like a thing to do protect it from the sand and the elements and stuff. So there is a little bit of movement, but not too much. Say this upper turret, which is like a machine gun type thing, that moves as well, but it's very stiff. The only aftermarket was used on this was what I got with the kit when I bought it from a friend of mine, was the stowage stuff that's in the basket, which is like some tarps and bags. I weren't too sure what colour Israeli equipment was, so I had to research it, and they use sands and dull greens and stuff. I have seen certain equipment like the jerry cans, they've been in green and they've been black and they've been sand. So I've done the jerry can in the green, the other one on the side in the sand is for water. Decals, all you get for decals is the serial number, which is on the side. So if you're not a fan of decals, this is perfect for doing. Did some weathering on the back for exhaust stains, which is pigments, which is a black pigment for dust, dirt deposits. The pigments on the bottom is light sienna for the sand. Yeah, it's just a superb kit overall. There's nothing else I can say about this kit really. I highly recommend it though, and I would do another one. I wouldn't mind doing it again, but obviously in a different scheme or something. But it's a good kit. What else is there really? The tow cable comes as metal, which is a nice touch. There is a couple of parts which I was pleased with. As I say, I was going to use metal tracks, but I couldn't get the tracks to work properly because they come as two halves. You get the rubber section and the metal tracks, but both parts are moulded in the metal, and you have to glue them together. And I've tried different super glues. I know my super glue is perfectly fine because I've used it on this kit to do certain parts, and I know the super glue's not gone off or anything, and I just could not get the metal parts to glue. So I ended up scrapping that, and I went to use the DS tracks, and they've come out reasonably well. Normally I whinge about DS tracks and rubber tracks because they're not detailed enough and whatever, but these actually worked reasonably well. So yeah, no problems there. As I say, just like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.